All right, YouTube, today I'm gonna show you how you can service your tankless electric water heater. And to get started, you are gonna need to make sure you have service valves on your tankless water heater. I'm gonna use a 5-gallon bucket, or just this mop bucket here, 2 washer hoses, a submersible pump, and at least 4 gallons of white vinegar. So that's all you're gonna need to service your water heater. I like to do this twice a year. I would say at least once a year. And there are chemicals that you can get other than white vinegar. That's just what I use. To me, I think the only difference is really with the white vinegar, you'll want to let it run a little longer. I usually let it run for about an hour. So let's go ahead and get set up. All right, so starting with the water heater, you want to make sure that it's off, but also you'll want to make sure that you cut the power to it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the power to my water heater, and now you can see it's off completely, no power to it. Then I want to cut off the water. Cut the water off going into the water heater, and then cut the water off going into the home. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the main line in. And we want this to be a closed system. That's the thing. So I'm gonna have a hose connected here that's gonna push the vinegar in, right? But it's not gonna let it go into the line here. And when it comes out, I don't want it to go into the house. So I'm gonna close this valve here and connect a hose here going into my bucket, right? So then I should have a closed loop. Vinegar will flow in here, go through the water heater, come out here and cycle through, right? So we want that to be the closed system. So now I'll go ahead and start hooking up my hoses. All right, so now I've got my hoses connected. Again, I'm gonna be pushing vinegar through this side. So I'll have my submersible pump in my bucket, and I'll go ahead and attach this other end of the hose to the pump, and then this line coming out is just going to sit here in the bucket, right? And then it'll cycle through. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach that to the pump. All right, now my hose is connected to the pump, and I just want to double check that everything is right. So I've got the water coming in, the vinegar coming in. So let me open this up, right? Because right now it's closed. When it's perpendicular, when it's parallel, it's open. All right, so now this is open. It's gonna flow through here, come up. It's not gonna be able to go back into the house. It's gonna come out here. It's not gonna be able to come into the house this way either. Let me go ahead and open this valve, right? And now, so I'll go ahead and fill the bucket with the vinegar, and then I'll plug the sump pump in, and it should get rolling. All right, now I filled my bucket with my vinegar. I've double checked that my hoses are connected and the system is closed. All the right valves are open. So now I'm just gonna plug in the sump pump, and it'll start cycling the vinegar through. Now just be ready. As soon as you turn that pump on, if any of these connections here are loose, you're gonna have vinegar starting to go all over the place. So just be ready to tighten up wherever you can. If it's too much, go ahead and unplug your sump pump and get it sorted out. All right, my sump pump is going. I've got no leaks. And now we just let it run for an hour. And just check on it every now and then, but really it shouldn't have any issues. You can already see how dirty the inside of my water heater was. This was a little overdue, so but yeah, and then I'll just see you guys in an hour. All right, so we've let it run for an hour. I went ahead and unplugged my sump pump. You can see that water looks pretty nasty, or that vinegar. So now to start deconstructing all this, first I'm gonna disconnect this side of the hose from the pump, And I'm gonna try to just let gravity take as much vinegar out of the water heater as possible. Same with this side. Just let it drain as much as possible. And then before I disconnect these hoses, I'm gonna go ahead and close these valves. So I'm gonna do that now. All right, so I've disconnected my hoses, and again, before I did that, I closed these valves. So now what we want to do before we just start turning everything back on is we kind of want to bleed the system now. So there's probably still vinegar in there, but there's also going to be air. So we want to make sure that the water heater is full of water before we put the power back on. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to open up the valve back to the house. All right, so open that up, and then I'm going to slowly open up the mainline valve. I'll kind of just do it just like halfway. We can hear it filling up. And then you'll want to open one of the faucets around the house. So I have a sink right here. I'm gonna have it to the hot water side, and I'm just gonna let it go for a bit. And I'll go around the house. That looks delicious. I'll go around the house and open a couple other faucets. Just do this for a few minutes until water starts, coming out as normal. And then we'll be ready to cut the power back on to the water heater. For this faucet here, I did remove kind of faucet cap on it, just kind of let it run a bit better. All right, so I've let it bleed. Now the water heater should be full of water. Everything is as we first started. So now I'm gonna go ahead and cut the power back into the water heater. See, it's coming back on. All right. And you have just successfully serviced your tankless electric water heater. If there's any suggestions, please leave them out down in the comments. I'm always willing to learn, so thanks for watching.